Hey guys, come on in. I'm a few minutes early, so come on in. I noticed that Sustain My Crafting Habit went off early, so I figured I'd jump on here and fill in the gap. So I'm Julie with Nothing Is Wasted Designs, and this is my segment of Friday Favorites. And so I'm going to give this just a few minutes and see if anybody on the sharing end sees me and puts me into the group. So let me see what we have. Hey, Crystal, come on in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Julie with Nothing Is Wasted Designs, and I'm in an event with Friday Favorites today. So I noticed that... let's see, Sustain My Crafting Habit went off early, so I thought I would hop on here and see if y'all wanted to share me in early. So I'm going to be working with my grandmother's sewing notions that I inherited from her when she went home to be with Jesus about 20, let's see, Adam was 3, so 27 years ago. And I have got lots and lots and lots of her crafting supplies, her sewing supplies. And so today I'm hoping to put this into a wreath, so we will see where we go with this. And I started this yesterday thinking that I was going to finish it yesterday, but that did not happen. So I'm going to wait just for a few minutes to see if anyone else is going to hop on, and then we are going to get going, y'all. So let me see. Let me look over here and share myself into some groups. All right, hold on. Let's see, Friday favorites. Let's see if I'm in the group yet. Does not look like I am. Let's see if we got what we got. I think I'm not doing something right here, because I never seem to be able to find myself in the group. Hey Tammy, thank you for sprinkling me out there. I appreciate that. We are going to make a Sewing Notions wreath tonight and pull together some of my grandmother's trinkets and things like that, sewing supplies that she had when she was alive. I asked her once, she's been gone almost 30 years now, so it's about time I did something with, you shared, okay, thank you, Giselle, I appreciate that. So I hopped on early because I saw that Sustain My Crafting Habit went off early, so I thought I'd try and fill in the gap and make it so that we could keep things moving. I am the last act tonight, the caboose, the back bookend, whatever you want to call it. But y'all come on in. I'm Julie with Nothing Is Wasted Designs. I'm excited to be here. Hey, Deanne, it's always good to see you show up. Thank you for supporting me the way you do. I appreciate you so much. I had Fridays is usually the day, is the day when I have a friend who comes over and she helps me around the house, and not a problem, Giselle. When Mary messaged me, I said my friend who's here to help me has left, and I had a gap of about 2 hours. So it worked out perfectly when she messaged me and asked if I could move up. I said, yeah, because I'm just sitting here waiting for 8 o'clock to get here. So it actually worked out well for everyone. I hope Mary is feeling better. Mary Miller with the Painted Peach was supposed to be in the 7 o'clock slot time, but she's not feeling well, so I was asked to move from 8 to 7, so here I am. So I have been wanting to put together this this wreath of my grandmother's sewing notions for quite a while now, and I started yesterday thinking I was going to finish yesterday, and since I didn't, I decided that hey, Sherry with Sunshine Designs, good to see you. Hey, Crystal. I want to show you what I did is I took, and I think these are 4 inches. It's been a while. Yeah, these are 4 inches. So what I did was I had a boatload. Hey, Mary, I hope you're feeling better. I had a boatload of black fabric, and I still do because I've got to find a lot of things to do with 4-inch strips. So this is a 4-inch strip. The width of the fabric is, I think, 44 inches or something, either 42 or 44 inches. And what I did yesterday was I just took, so that y'all can have an idea of how I started this. I just took this and started this on a wire wreath form from Dollar Tree. And I just want to show y'all how I got to where I am. And all I did was wrap this around, and of course I hot glued it and everything, and I'm not going to do it real neatly because I don't want to spend a lot of time on that. But what I did was I just kept wrapping and wrapping and wrapping so that I could cover up the wreath form, okay? So just fabric strips. You can use any color you want. I chose black just because I thought that it would make a good backdrop. And I had about a 1/2 inch gap. Hey, Berta, you're here to see part 2. Good, I'm glad you're here. So I have about a 1/2 inch gap as I rolled this around. So let me go ahead. I'm going to take this piece off because I don't need this. And I'm going to take some buttons, some snaps, some sewing supplies that my grandmother had. And you know, I'm going to be real honest with y'all. Well, I'm always honest, but anyway, I'm going to be honest with y'all. The struggle that I had, all right, so I don't know if y'all can see. There we go. You see how this is about a 1/2 inch wrap? So I just did about a 1/2 inch. Didn't really measure it, just kind of went along with this to see where it was going to take me. And I have this one section down at the bottom that's kind of wide, so I haven't decided what I'm going to do with this yet. Hey, Sherry, thanks for sharing me out there. I appreciate it. So I have some, what do you call them? Some Scrabble letters. They're not really Scrabble letters, but they're letters that look like Scrabble letters, but I don't think they're officially Scrabble letters that I got off of Amazon. And I may put some lettering with that. So my struggle with putting this in a wreath is like, okay, so this is, I don't know if y'all have ever seen one of these. Does anybody know what this is? I'll tell you what it is, but I'm going to let y'all guess first. Has anybody seen this before? It's made out of wood. It has a handle on it, and it has a rounded top. I also have one of these that opens. I don't have it here with me, but I have one that opens, and you can kind of like take the top off, and it's hollowed out inside. Has anyone ever seen one of these? Hey, Melanie. Has anybody ever seen this? Do you? Yes, Giselle, it is. I didn't realize it's a darning egg, but that's what it is. And so, okay, so you remember like years ago when there wasn't a Walmart on every corner. Yep, for darning socks, exactly. Yarn winder, I've never seen it for that. How about that? Hey, Audrey, welcome. Come on in. Yep, it's for darning. And so I always have known it for darning socks. And so I probably should have brought a sock. But what you do is you take and you put this down inside a sock, like where the toes or the heel has worn out. And you use a needle and thread, and you darn your socks. Hey, Lyndall, you darn your socks, because people couldn't afford to just throw a pair of socks away at the time. And so they mended everything. Okay, well, this was in my grandmother's stash, and I'm like, how am I going to, because like putting all these things on a wreath is like, gosh, what if I ever need this tool? Because, there were some really neat tools that she left behind. Some I had, some, like the darning egg, or, the darning tool for socks. I just think this is so cool. But I thought, keeping it in a container that I almost seldom never open isn't a good isn't really a good use of it either. So I'm going to put this on display, and I'm thinking what I want to do is I think I might put this like down at the bottom. So I'm going to just go through some of these tools that I have. I'm going to show y'all some of the things I have. Now, these are, cover your own buttons. And I know y'all have seen, buttons that you can cover yourself. But what I like about, more than anything, what I like about this is the price. Okay, so if you look down at the bottom where my finger is, this was 25 cents for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, for 6 of these. All right, so these are the original Prims, cover your own buttons, without tools, 100% metal. This is like, history, y'all. And even though I'm not an avid history fan, I love stuff like this. So I'm going to just pull out a few of these. Like, here are some buttons that, these are Rainbow, Oriental, Mother of Pearl, embedded in lucite. 4 on style, 400, size 30, and 4 buttons for 25 cents. I challenge you to find 4 buttons for 25 cents, unless it's at a thrift store or something along that line. All right, so then we keep going, and I'm going to just pull some of these things out of here, and then I have no idea how I'm going to arrange these. All right. Where are my sewers? What do you know about this? What is this called? Tell me what this is, and why did you need this? We don't need these. Well, I'll be quiet and give y'all a chance. So what is this called? It's got a little wheel on it, and it spins. It's got a wooden handle. Hey, Debbie, come on in. This is a blast from the past, especially for those of you who have sewn before. I've done a lot of a tracing wheel. Lyndall, did you sew? You must have sewn. A pattern tracing wheel. Yep, Debbie, you got it. That's right. This is called a tracing wheel. Now, what did you couple a tracing wheel? Oh, there you go. You answered my question before I even asked it. What did you use with the tracing wheel? Tracing paper by Dritz, usually. So there were different colors. Do y'all remember the different colors in there? I don't know if I have any tracing paper here with me. But I did, as I was running across the stash of stuff that my grandmother gave me. Now, I had thought about this would be fun for like perforating paper. So I practiced with it, and it didn't turn out as well as I wanted it to. But look at this. Look at the angle of this one. Now, I don't know if I'm going to put this one in the wreath, or if I'm going to go with the plastic one. So what do y'all think? Should I do the wooden one or the plastic one that has color with it? Or I have another one that is, I really like the way this one is contoured with an angle. I never had one with an angle. Mine was always straight. Oh yes, I so remember this. Corey, yeah, aren't these fun? All right, so I've got 3 or 4 different tracing wheels. We're gonna put those off to the side. And then I'm going to look in here. All right, so I was looking in here, and all right, I know everybody knows what these are, but I'm going to go over something that you probably have not seen. I had thought about putting this blue. What is this? Y'all tell me what this is. The wooden one? Okay. The wooden one? All right. The one with the bent arm or the one with the straight arm? Wooden one? Okay. All right. My mama had them for sure for sewing. Yep. My mom sewed. I sewed. I've made clothes for me. I've made clothes for my boys. Who else? I haven't really made clothes for other people, just me and my children. All right, so what is unique about this? I was looking at this. I thought maybe we could weave this through measuring tape. Giselle, did you sew? Tell me if you sewed. Tell me some of the things that you made. All right, so as I was looking at this, I don't know if y'all are going to see this because this is backwards, but I thought this was really unusual. Can you read what that says? Somebody take a screenshot of it and see if you can put it in the mirror. I thought this is, another piece of history. Can you read that? I'll hold it still. Who can read that backwards and tell us what it says? Okay. This has centimeters, which most people don't work with, but I work with centimeters and inches, grams, just depends on what I'm measuring. This has got a plastic coating to them. Could anybody read what that says? So, you're a quilter. Made my PJs for myself. Oh, good for you. I've made maybe less than a handful of quilts and had a lot of fun with it. Hey, Tammy, come on in. We're having a history lesson here. Now, how many of you have ever used rubber bands? I do not know the answer to the question that I'm getting ready to ask y'all. How many of y'all have used rubber bands and then 5 years later you go back to undo the rubber band and it has disintegrated? Okay, everybody done that? And it's like, why do we use rubber bands? Because they just turn to gum later. So this is in my grandmother. Now remember, I've had this for 30 years, so no telling how long my grandmother had it. I just about failed sewing in a cooking class. That's okay. You paint well enough to make up for it. So I took the rubber band off of this. No idea how long this rubber band has been here. Can somebody explain to me? I know this rubber band is at least 30 years old because my grandmother died, went home to be with Jesus 27 years ago, and this was around one of her measuring tapes. Why did this not disintegrate? What is this made out of that is different? They must have changed how they made rubber bands 50 years ago, 40 years ago. She had this wrapped around, and I can still wrap this around and this rubber band will not break. You're good at cooking, but not sewing. That's okay. We can't all do everything, right? So I'm really curious as to when did they change how they made rubber bands, because this particular rubber band is still in it was still in great condition. It just broke. But, so here we go. Did anybody see the wording on the blue one? All right, let me tell you what it said. It said West Germany. You do not see West Germany on anything in modern times. So this was obviously a time before East Germany was freed. And so I don't know how old this is, but it was old enough that West Germany is written on this. Now, so this says not legal for use in trade. I like this particular measuring tape. It is made in the USA. It's paper. It doesn't have, it's just cloth. It does not have, everything is throwaway items these days. I know. So this, I thought that I could weave this kind of in and out and around the wreath. I don't know, just a guess of something that I can do. I don't think I'm going to use the blue simply because I don't have a lot of blue in my house, and I don't know, there's something about this paper one, but I thought it was pretty interesting. You need to, I know, I sure do, Tammy. I do need to research these items. This is, this little metal tab here is really, really thin. This is like just fabric that's just paper thin for this particular, what would I call this? A measuring tape. All right, so moving right along. We've got some larger buttons that you can cover, and I can only fit so much on this wreath, y'all. So we're gonna see what we decide to keep, what we decide not to use. And like, okay, so these are newer buttons. These are 75 cents for two. And I love the yellow in that, so I might do something with that. And, you know, obviously we need to put the big rocks in first. I've got tons and tons and tons of wooden spools with thread, without the thread. Cokes and Clark's is, you know, a name brand that I'm sure most of us are familiar with. Now, I was going through, all right, another question that I wanted to find the answer to, but I haven't yet. I was going through the wooden spools, and I came up with this little bag. I ended up putting these in a Ziploc bag, but these are 20 cents. And they are made of pure silk. When I was going through the, all right, let me show you something instead of telling you. See if I got this one. When I was going through these threads yesterday, I was showing people that, you know, thread gets old and it gets worn and it gets brittle. Okay, so this particular piece of thread, you can see I can just snap it. So this is really not good for sewing. It just breaks too easily. When I went to look at the, okay, and see this little button on the top? This is probably, I'm guessing from the 70s, because I remember my mom having these little doodads. I don't know what they're called, but you can wrap your thread around these. And they keep it keeps the thread from unraveling wherever it is. So, you know, I was going through and I was testing the threads and everything, and I got to these, it's called Silk Twist. I'll put it up here if anybody wants to screenshot it. Cokes and Clark Silk Twist. And it's pure silk. This was 25 cents for this little guy. It's kind of thick, but of course it's going to probably prove me wrong. But when I went to pull on this, I mean, I'm sure these are pretty old. Why does the silk, we know that silk is a natural fabric. So, but all of these silk threads, y'all, I'm not putting these in the wreath simply because I think I'm going to use these for something. But all of these silk threads are still good even after 30 years. Even if my grandmother bought them right before she went home to be with Jesus, they're at least 30 years old. So I am guessing, since these are 20 cents, 25 cents, pure silk, 10 yards, I'm guessing these are at least 40 or 50 years old. I know. I really wanted to put them in the wreath, but I thought, I don't know. So I'm like, it's like a toss-up because the stuff is so fascinating, but yet at the same time, I wanted to save some stuff that's still usable. All right, and then of course we go in here and we've got the Drit snaps. These are 90 cents, so these are probably maybe from the 80s, I'm guessing. So they're not quite as old. Then you go in here. All right, does anybody, I don't even know if y'all can see this against this. Does anybody know what these are? They're sewn on the card. They're not, you know, yeah, I figured they probably are, Giselle. If any of y'all are, you want to look things up and tell me what you find, I would love to know. I'm going to do it offline. All right, these are called Boye, B-O-Y-E Needle Company. My grandmother lived in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, which is not too far from Chicago, Illinois. All right, so it looks like the B-O-Y-E Needle Company is made in the USA. It was out of New York, Chicago, and San Francisco. So she probably got these from Chicago. Yeah, this is kind of hard. Let me get it closer. It's black on dark blue, so it's really hard to see. They're not snaps, but they are similar to snaps. They have two pieces to them. Hey, Berta. They have two pieces to them. One, they are a closure, and they are used for holding two pieces of fabric together. Let's see if I can get it. Oh, that's where Giselle's doing. Okay. Yeah, you could use them on a bra, but they were usually used at the back of like the neck. Like if there was an opening at the neck, you could close that. Hook and eye. Yep, you got it. It's called a hook and eye. That's exactly what it is, Tammy. And anyway, so we have some of these. I don't know. I just, you know, it's like so fun to go through this stuff. Okay, so here's some more. These are easier to see. And these are 35 cents, size 2. Let's see what this size is. This is ripped off. So I don't know what size this was. But look at the back of this, y'all. This was sewn onto the card. This is like history here. All right, here's some more hook and eyes. See how it's sewn on the card? This is what a hook and eye looks like. There's two parts to it. There's the part that holds down, and then there's the hook part. And so these were 35 cents. Hooks, eyes, and loops is what it's called. And this is Sewing Notions out of Spartanburg, South Carolina. So there we go, Lyndall, out of Spartanburg, South Carolina. I'll probably put those on there because they're a little bit easier to see. So let me put the dark ones back in here. All right, this is a size 2. This is 19 cents. All right, these are 19 cents, y'all. So I don't think it's going to take me very long to put these on here. Made in England for William P-R-Y-M, Prim, in Dayville, Connecticut. Do I have any people from Connecticut in the house? This is a size 2. So we'll get some of these on here. And all right, so let's see what else I got in here in my little bag of tricks. All right, so here we go. Here's some snaps. These were on sale for 61 cents. There are 8 sets of snaps. Boy, these are like really heavy duty. Wow. And of course, I don't know. These look like hold on a minute. They have like a prong or something that you bang these in. All right, let me see if I can get one off of here, y'all. All right, here's one of the snaps. I don't see. All right, so it's 2 parts. I'm gonna put it in my hand so y'all can see it. It's 2 parts. There's a snap. There's a top part and a bottom part. And I'm gonna just put this back on here and see if I have like a small thing of snaps. Come on. Oh, I put it on backwards. Let me do it again. So we're gonna put that one there and this one there. Okay, so these are back for application on lighter fabrics such as broadcloth, flannelette, percale, and dacron. All right, so there we go. There's some snaps. And she had a variety of size snaps. This is the B-O-Y-E, boy, I guess, dress fasteners. There's some bigger snaps. And you don't see you don't see a lot of people using snaps anymore. Here's some larger hook and eyes, more hook and eyes. My grandmother was a wealth of information when it came to sewing. Okay, so this is some Drit snaps that are a variety of different sizes. And we're going to go ahead and let's start gluing some stuff on here and see where we go with this. Oh, one more thing. And what would any sewing project be without a variety of thimbles? I think my grandmother had a thimble for the size for every size finger she had. Some of these are larger, some of them are smaller. She must have, she did a lot of hand sewing. So my guess is that she may have put a thimble on every finger that she sewed with. Now, this one's plastic. I don't know how old that is, but it can't be worth much. That's plastic. And, but look at this one. Look at this. This thimble doesn't even have a top to it. So look at that. It's got a hole in it. I've never seen a thimble that didn't have a top to it. But look at the, see if y'all can, all right, hang on. Let's see if I can do it this way. Look at the size of the divots in that thimble. I mean, that's going to catch any needle. It's pretty deep. All right, so we've got that. And then there was one other one that I was looking at. We're going to start with the big rocks. We're going to put the big rocks in first, and then we're going to fill in with some of the smaller pieces. All right, so I don't know if y'all can see how this is concave. I've never seen a thimble that had that on there. Let's see if I can do it. Well, there we go. Y'all can see how it's got that concave look to it. So there's a snap pliers that you use to apply. Okay, I don't have those. I didn't see anything that looked like that. I'll have to look into that, but it makes sense. All right, so then the other thing that I have like these little tiny scissors, and they don't really line up, so I'm going to put these in here. So let's get going. Let's see what we're going to do. I think for the threads, what I want to use is I like bright, vibrant colors. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick out the spools of thread that have the brightest colors on them. And I want to maybe pick out threads that have price tags on them too. Oh, I thought it'd be kind of fun to, you know how we always used to put our needles across there? I thought it'd be kind of fun to put that, something like that on here. So we're going to just play with this and see where we go. I want to use a variety of sizes. That's not real bright and vibrant, but let's go, y'all. I've got my glue gun ready. So what I think I want to do is I want to start with putting this little darning egg down at the bottom. And I have a big needle, and I'm going to use a combination of thread and glue to glue this in place. I don't have a black zip tie, or I would try and do a zip tie through this. So let me cut this, and we're going to just see where this takes us. I've got, y'all can see, the way I create is with everything everywhere. And my husband's an engineer, and the way he creates is everything is organized. I am not that girl. Those concave thimbles made it easy to push needles through. Okay, that makes sense because I was kind of thinking that. So I love this, that y'all have like answers to my questions. All right, so I'm going to come in here, and I just got a really big needle. I want to make sure I'm not going through the glue, because I've got some glue on the back of this. All right, so we're going to bring this up, and I'm going to kind of, I think I want to wrap this around, y'all, a couple of times. And I want to just kind of secure this in place somehow. I'm going to come back with some glue. I got some pliers somewhere. I think I'm going to need them. So hang on. Let me grab some pliers. Where are my pliers? Oh, this is not a good time not to be able to find them. Oh, I know. Maybe over here. Nope. All right. Well, I think I brought them in another room. Don't see them. All right. I can get this through here. We'll see. We'll see how we do. All right. Let's see if I can go down through here. Got some needle nose pliers somewhere. It wants to go through. I've got this fabric glued, so it wants to go through the spots where the hot glue is. Let's see if I can get it through here. Nope. There it goes. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just tie this around here. This is going to be the start of this. And then I'm going to put some glue behind it also. This is some really, really thick thread that my grandmother had. I'm using thread from the stash that she gave me. Is that going to work? Nope. All right, here we go. And then I'm going to adjust it. All right, we're going to tie that off. And so I don't lose this needle, I'm going to put it on this napkin. And then I'm going to turn this over. And we're going to take a glue gun. it seems like a sin to actually glue this down, but that's what I'm gonna do, y'all. All right, so I'm gonna hold that, and then I'm gonna put this here. All right, we're gonna hold that down. This is gonna be kind of the star of the show. Hey, Debbie. I hope y'all had fun going down memory lane with me. I remember sewing with all of this stuff as a, gosh, when I was in my 20s. I made this one shirt. It was a crop top, and you know, it had like a it wasn't, I never wore anything real low cut, but it had like a little bit of a scoop and off the shoulder, like just a little bit of a sleeve. And when I was cutting the fabric pattern out, it was a piece that was on the bottom that was cut on the fold. And as I was cutting the top piece, I was cutting it on top of another piece of another pattern that had already been cut out. And I was thinking to myself, boat neck, yes. You must have sewn a lot, Tammy. I was thinking to myself, I really should move these pattern pieces out of the way that I've already cut. But I didn't, and when I went to cut that other pattern out, I snipped the fold of the back of the shirt. So I ended up with a slash about that big, and I thought, oh, there is going to be no hiding this. Well, oh, you're welcome, Corey. I'm glad y'all could join me with this. Anyway, so long story short, you know, our mistakes, what they do is they just detour us and enhance our creativity, right? So, so I ended up buying these 2 big black buttons, and I put one button over well, first of all, I patched it on the inside. It was a pink shirt that had like black designs on it. And so the first thing I did was I put a patch on the inside of the shirt to hold the opening closed. And then I sewed 2 big black buttons at the top. And y'all, I got more compliments on that shirt. It was like, oh, I love that shirt. And, you know, and it was all a matter of, you know, it would have looked fine without the black buttons, but the black buttons just kind of, all right, so here we go. All right, we're off and running, y'all. We put the big rocks in first, right? All right, so the other thing that I want to put on here is I don't know, I don't know why I'm drawn to these buttons, but I am. And I'm drawn to the buttons so that they are on here with the card, because I like the fact that it says 25 cents on here. So we're going to take, and I'm just, no rhyme or reason, I'm going to just start attaching some stuff on here. If I ever want to use these buttons, I will be able to pull them off, but for now, we are going to hold these down, and we're going to put these on here, and we're going to just keep adding stuff. And then with heckadoodles, no, I think my home economics teacher passed me because she felt sorry for me, but my mother sewed for us girls. Oh, that's so cool. That is so cool. She passed you because she felt sorry for her. Until we were going into junior high school. Good for her. I took home economics in the 8th and 9th grade. That made me 13 and 14 years old. All right, so I want to, so that this is not quite hanging off so much, I'm going to put a little bit of glue here. I'm kind of excited to see how this is going to turn out, y'all. I've been wanting to do this for quite a while. I don't know what I'm going to use for a hanger. I'll probably sew something on the back. All right, so this is what we have. So now we've got some buttons on here. So let's go and let's do a little bit of balance here and put some hook and eye loops down here. Let's see which one I want. I think I like the 19-cent ones. I think I want the 19-cent ones and the ones that have missing like they've been used on here. So we're going to put those, we're going to kind of balance that maybe down here. No real rhyme or reason. I'm just moving along, and I'm gonna, this is how I work. I'm not a planner, I'm a feeler. So we're gonna take and we're gonna put, I got my big glue gun out because I figured I was gonna use a lot of glue. All right, so we're gonna put this down here. And I'll show y'all as I go along each step so that you can kind of be part of this with me. I'm so excited that y'all are here with me to do this because, you know, I could do this by myself, but it's a lot more fun to do it with friends, right? All right, so there we go. I'm just kind of putting, I'm going to fill in with the, thread after we get going here, and I'll fill in with some thimbles. All right, let's see what else we have. Oh, look at this. All right, this is like, my grandmother made this. I can look at this and see that she made this. So I think what I want to do is I don't know how to attach this. All right, maybe I'll wait on that one. All right, so let's get some of these covered buttons. This is kind of big. I don't want it quite that big. And we got to get some snaps in here. We've got some hook and eyes, but let's come in here and pull out some snaps. There's some more. My grandmother had a lot of, here's some more hook and eyes so that y'all can see these. And those of you who have sewn, you know what these look like. All right, this one doesn't have a price on it, but I do like, let's see here. The price is up top, nickel plated. All right, hold on a minute. Let's see if I can find some snaps. Those are 90 cents. We don't want the expensive ones. We want the ones that are long time ago. And then my grandmother, she did a lot of she had a lot of these little containers. I should probably put one of these on here too. That's not a bad idea. She's got the hook on one side and the eye on the other. That might be kind of fun. Maybe this is the one. Let's see here. Yeah, I think we'll put that on there. That'll be fun. But the plastic isn't going to, hold on, because the plastic, I'm like all over the place, y'all. I'm having a good time. I hope you're having fun with me. All right, these are more buttons. Those will be fillers. Oh, I know what I wanted to put in here. I wanted to get, she had so many different kinds of needles. So I wanted to put some needles on here. And I think, I never knew there were as many different kinds of needles as there are. This doesn't have a price on it. So let's get some needles in here. I got all this stuff in little bags. And all right, so I won't use these. These are called, oh, maybe I will. Beading needles. Beading needles. All right, I don't want to use those because I might one day want to do some beading. J&P Coats, that was J.C. Penney's, wasn't it? Made in England. Fold here, bend top back, size 24. All right, so let's put some needles on here. Hold on, where are we gonna go? Let's go, I wanna be careful because I don't wanna stick myself. This is like squirrel, squirrel. Oh, that looks fun too. Let's go that direction. All right, this is 75 cents, so this is getting into more modern day, what we would consider modern day. These are 70 cents. Anybody remember these needles? These packages of needles? This is Singer 48 hand sewing needles. This is 60 cents. This is too big to put on here, but isn't that fun? All right. Oh my gosh. Y'all tell me about a sewing, looping has been awful for me all day. Oh, it's this crazy looping is nuts. I don't know why they can't fix it. You could buy those wrist pin cushions. Oh, I know you can, but my grandmother made it. I can look at it and tell that she made it. It's so cool. I gotta go have a blessed weekend. Okay, thank you, Melanie. Let's see, I got to read the comments. I had to stay after for several projects. I chose to sew a bunny that had Velcro. Aww! Oh, that was no good. Man, I was no good. Oh, that is hilarious. Y'all are so funny. You know what I made? I made this skirt that was like, had swirls and a scalloped, what do you call it? Hem. That was a dumb project to make for, a first-time skirt, a scalloped hem, you know, something, you know, just around would have been good, but I had to go with a scalloped hem, and boy, was that something. All right, so I think I want, even though this is plastic, and I don't know if it's going to hold, I want to put this in here. All right, I just feel like this belongs on here, this little. It may end up falling off of here, and if it does, I'll put something else there. But I just think it needs to come on here because this is indicative of my grandmother. She had all of these different kinds of containers. They were like empty jam jars, you know, because they didn't waste anything. So she would have been, I don't even know what year she was born. I have to look that up. She would have been, she was about 80 when she died about 30 years ago. So she would have been about 110, 115 today. So, you know, that was quite a long time ago. All right, I'm gonna work on, I think I'm gonna go with these snaps here. No, they're too big. Maybe we'll go with, all right, I'm gonna hold off. And I think we'll tuck some of these needles in here somehow. Maybe down here. And if I ever need a needle, I can always pull one out of here. These are 85 cents, so these aren't extremely old. All right, so we're gonna put these needles right here, y'all. Hope nobody gets stuck with them. These are 6 needles, size 24, made in England. Probably should have made in the USA on here, but here we are. I hope that darning egg is going to hold. All right, so this is what we have so far. We're going to get some threads on here, but we want to put the big rocks in first. And I'm thinking these are too big. We don't have any snaps, so let's get some snaps on here. I think we're going to go with the 10-cent snaps, y'all. We'll put the 10-cent snaps on here. And we are going to, I think I like it right here. So we're going to put this right here. And I'm going to try not to get the glue on the snaps. So in case I want to, you know, if we go across hard times and we need these snaps, they'll be here. Size 2. How fun is this? Y'all, I'm having so much fun. I wish my grandmother was here. I didn't see her very often because she lived in Wisconsin and we lived in Virginia. So I saw her maybe once a year. And okay, thanks for joining me. I will post a picture of what we end up doing. How we doing on time? Oh my gosh, it goes so fast. All right, so I want to make sure that I get the 10 cents in here. Just hold that. All right, so here we go. We're going to get, and then we're going to fill in with, all right, so we got snaps on here. We got hook and eyes on here. All right, this is a hot glue gun, y'all. And then I'm going to start filling in with, and then I think I'm going to go, like, once we get everything on here, I'm going to put the measuring tape. I got a boatload of measuring tapes. I don't know about y'all, but I got quite a few of them. All right, and then we'll fill in with buttons. We'll fill in. All right, let's start putting some thread on here. And I want to try and get ones that have, all right, so this has got 15 cents on here. So I'm going to just take, the thread will stick to this. I'm going to just take and start filling in some of these pieces with some colored thread. Let's see we'll do this one here. And we'll start getting the color in here. I feel like, did we get needles? All right, we got some needles on there. And I really want to put these on here, but where? Maybe up top here? I'm not going to wrap this around. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just leave this. Ouch. That's hot. I'm going to just leave this up like this, okay? So we're going to have just a combination of buttons and hooks and eyes. Oh, we got to get this on here too, y'all. All right, this one's not going to show. So we are going to, how are we going to put this on here? We need to put maybe, all right, this is going to have to be wrapped around CW. C would have been my grandmother's husband, her second husband. He's not my paternal grandfather. All right, maybe that one's kind of big. I don't like that one on there. This one's kind of cool. All right, let's try this one. Let's see if we can get this one on here. We're going to put this one right here, y'all. And I'm going to stick it to the wood. Are y'all having fun? All right, then we're going to get some of these different colors of thread on here. And I want to turn it so that when you're looking at it, you can see the, all right, so here we go. All right, this is what we have so far. It's going to come together, y'all. Trust me, it will come together. All right, let's see. What other colors do we have in here that we want to pull out of here? All right, I think we'll do this color. This is a burgundy. This is a yellow. I like the green. Oh, look, here's one of the small ones, y'all. Doesn't have any thread on there, so we'll put that on there. I think we'll do the large lavender one that is 35 cents. We got a small lavender one. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll put that maybe right here. Can y'all see what I'm doing? All right, we'll put that one right here, and then that way we can see. Maybe we need to turn it. No, it fits best right there. All right, here we go. Now remember, this thread isn't any good anyway, so we're not wasting it. All right, we're going to let that sit there. And we're going to come back over here. And this is 15 cents. We want to see this 15 cents. I don't want to put the lavender next to the lavender though. This is, let's see if this has got a price on it. Nope. But I do like the, all right, so we're going to put this, I don't like that color there. All right, hold on. We're going to come over maybe here. I like that purple and green next to each other. And there's 19 cents. So we want to be able to see that. And so I'm going to hang this in my by my craft desk. I don't know if y'all can see behind me. Can you see the sheep made out of buttons? I made that with my grandmother's buttons. So, and it seems like the more I use, the more it multiplies. The idea is to diminish my, all right, so let's do this. Pure silk, oh, shade white, twist, 20 cents. All right, hang on. Let's put this one, where do we want to put that one? Blending. I think we want to put the price up top. We want to see the price, y'all. I don't know, there's something about seeing 20 cents that you can't find. You can't do much of anything with 20 cents these days. So we'll add that one right there. This one, I think we'll put this over here next to the pink. And we're going to put that kind of cockeyed this way. So when I worked with the buttons, this is how I did it. I just kind of kept looking for holes and filled in the holes. And so I like these colors together, so I'm going to put these together. Now, it's 7:58. I am due to come off at 8 o'clock. So what I'm going to do, if any of y'all are interested in joining me, is at 8 o'clock in 1 minute, I'm going to end the live, and then I'm going to just come back on just on my page, and anyone who wants to come back and watch me finish this, I'll finish this online. I'm home by myself. Y'all are my company. All right, so this is what we have so far. It's coming along. It's going to get there. And so I'm going to go ahead, and with that, I want to thank y'all for joining me. I'm Julie with Nothing is Wasted Designs, and I'm going to close this segment out with Friday favorites. I'm the last in the lineup tonight, so I feel fine doing this. So I'm going to come off, and then I'm going to come right back on. So go back to my page, Nothing is Wasted Designs. Make sure you join Friday favorites so that you can catch those people who are presenting on Fridays. And I love y'all. Jesus loves you more. I'm going to come right back on, and I will wait for y'all to join me for those who want to see how this finishes out. All right? Thanks for joining me, y'all. See you in a minute. Bye-bye.